Bada bing, bada boom. Hey, let me know. Somebody let me know in the chat. Rich Wealthy, you was early. I know it's a delay between StreamYard and YouTube. Let me go to YouTube. Rich Wealthy, what up? What up? You in the building? Fly Top Blizzy, what up? What's happening? What's going on? I don't think I can edit. Land is golden. What's happening? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Skizzios, what up? El Boki, what's up? What's up? What's happening? Lamar, peace to you. Peace to you. Man, everybody thumbs up real fast. Everybody thumbs up as soon as you come in the building, please, man. Let's alert the algorithm. Do what we do. Thumbs up. In fact, share it on your pages, whatever. As well. Minister Jew about to come on in a minute. But everybody click the thumbs up button for me real fast, man. It kind of like boosts us in the YouTube sphere, especially for those that subscribe. But yeah, thumbs up for us. Gonna get into a quick conversation. Let me go over here on YouTube, see what y'all doing. There we go. We climbing. Everybody put the thumbs up for me. Boki, what up? What up? What up? That's 825. Cool. So everybody coming in, thumbs up, please. Appreciate that. What Gracie talk about?
Hold on, let me see.
Peace. Yep. So what up, everybody? What's happening, man? What's going on? Talk to me real fast, man. We're gonna do a quick little pre-show. El Bokia Taurus, man, can't wait. Yeah, we're gonna have something going on them fixed signs. There's a fixed sign pattern that I'm gonna get into tonight. And I preface that with, I like looking at the broader cycles of humanity with this thing. You know what I'm saying? So there's gonna be some things I get into tonight that's gonna set the stage for the world stage, literally the world stage. You know what I'm saying? I believe you gotta be an observer of cycles this is the first cycle that we've ever seen in our entire life. The United States has never seen this. What it's about to see. It's about to be its first time. And I guess, man, that's kind of blessed that we actually in this particular time pocket to be in the first cycle. You know what I'm saying? So I'm explaining these cycles in a few. You know what I mean? Definitely explain these in a few. You know. So yeah. Yep. Skills. What up, man? It's all good. Everybody missed, bro. It was me and DK in that joint, man. Everybody missed that joint. Yeah. Yeah. So let me grab a link. Let me see something real fast. Let me grab the link, y'all. Let me grab this. Go share this. Can I do that? That's cool. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna go drop this real fast on Facebook. Yeah. All right, I just pushed that over there to that. Enjoying prom, Jew of myself. All right. All right, let me close that window. K Money, what up? What's happening? What's going on? Oh shoot, we got Just Blaze in the building. About to go in the retro in the ninth, man. You gotta get your study on, bring that game out, man. Stop playing. Exquisite Gem, exquisite edge hair, the best stylist in the world. Helen from where you at in Jersey? But what up though? Yeah. So everybody, do me a favor. Everybody that's in the building, click the thumbs up buttons for us. We got like 2 people waiting on. Everybody, click the thumbs up button for us, please, so it can alert people. And man, let's have this conversation, man. What up, Prime Minister?
What's going on, man?
Shoot, man. Pluto in Aquarius, they saying.
Man, hey, and ain't they saying it is?
Pluto in Aquarius for what? 21 years, bro. This is gonna be like till 2044.
Woo.
Yeah. Imagine that. I can remember when that joint went in the
Cap.
Yep, I do. I remember that. So that means we was watching this thing in Sag. That's crazy. 20 years. 20 years in Aquarius, man. What it look like? Hold on. Until I call her back. 20 years in Aquarius. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, so 20 years in Aquarius, man. We dealing with Pluto, the planet of transformation. Um, Aquarius, the sign of the people. You know what I'm saying? So Pluto, the planet of transformation, endings, death could be physical, can be more of a mental thing for sure. Power, control, manipulation, refinement. Aquarius, people, friends, the groups of people. You know what I'm saying? Your network. You know what I mean? Um, Humanitarian efforts. You know. So Pluto kicking off here, man. How you see that, Jew?
Pluto over there, man. I like to look at it from the other angle, the beer of what it's opposing,
Oh yeah. Okay.
right? The mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, Aquarius is also eccentric, uh, you
Mike.
know,
Mm-hmm.
range, sexual appetite.
Oh, I'm gonna show you something on that. You note that. Note that.
Um,
I got something on that.
and
Note that.
so I'm looking at this theme where uh checking the post of what is happening to children
Mm.
during this 21-year cycle.
Mm. Because what he's saying is Leo, the constellation Leo, is total opposite Aquarius, what Pluto is. So those of you may be totally new to this, if you can kind of imagine a wall clock, 11 o'clock is where Pluto is at because the 11th sign is Aquarius. And opposite 11 on a wall clock is the number 5, which is the 5th sign of Leo, which governs children. So we call that opposition. So Pluto opposite Leo, he's getting that, hey, this could be something dealing with Pluto and children. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. And so if you've been watching the socials, paying attention to the news,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of conversation around um I forget the word that they're trying to term it now for pedophilia.
Yeah.
uh they're trying to come up with some term to take the sting or the shame out of uh grown men and women who are molesting children. Now Pluto is also sex.
Mm-hmm. And force, manipulation. Right.
Yes.
Right.
And so you've got a lot of these psyops running around here, grown men dressing up like little girls,
Mm.
right? Grown men dressing up like baby dolls, right? So, trying to normalize or uh, take the shaming out of uh, disrespecting children's innocence. And so, as a matter of fact, thank you, El Boki. Transgender shooter today. That's what the news was reporting. What town was that in? Jew, maybe somewhere in Tennessee, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, ran into school, shot 3 children, killed, I think, 3 teachers too. And so, I'm looking at it from that angle to see, the other thing, um, people dressing up in drag and parents having their children in attendance.
Mm.
I mean, I've seen some videos like toddlers, 4 or 5 year old children, in some case, erratic, dress, In some instances, their genitalia is that area of their body has extra emphasis on it, where children are present. So, you know, and then um, taking the diffusing, you might see something like, and this is just on a whole nother note too, like amusement parks shutting down, right? Places where it's recreational fun games, that type of thing. So those are just some of the themes and the elements that I'm looking at during this transit. But the people, the groups of people, and so that's a wide ranging. When we say groups of people, I mean that can be expounded all the way into citizenry and countries.
Yeah.
Right. So and Pluto is a dictator. It's a power obsessive entity. And so you see that the theme is playing out also in France right now. Because I don't want to, because I don't know what, I'm just going off the top.
Nah, man, do your thing, man.
I don't know what you got, and I don't want to say something.
No, man, it don't even matter though, bro. Go ahead.
But so we're seeing people in France rising up, and the reason is because the leader over there is said to had pushed the law through. I think it was to raise the age of like their pension or Social Security or whatever. And from the reports that I'm reading, they passed it, they pushed it through without a vote. So anytime you're supposed to be a said democracy or republic or whatever, and the people don't have, the representatives that the people put there don't have a say so, that's essentially a dictatorship.
Right.
And so now you got people raising up. I mean, you look at some of them videos over there, man. I mean, them streets, you think is on and popping over here, man. Them European people, they know how to hit the street, fam.
Oh, they don't mess around.
They know how to hit the street.
They
And
don't mess
so,
around.
we seeing that dynamic play out. So those are just some of the themes that I'm looking forward to seeing unfold. Some revolutionary changes in technology, for sure.
Yeah.
I said this to Noble the other day. In the next 21 years, you're going to be able to pay to have sex with Amber Rose virtually.
Yeah.
That's coming.
Yeah.
They gonna hook you up. You're gonna have them big thick bifocal goggles on. And what you say, nobody they gotta find what they gotta do first. They gotta find a way to get down into that.
Yeah. Once they figure out the technology to make you feel to go along with the virtual, it's game over.
It's game over, man.
That may be a chip in the brain for real. And I don't even talk like that.
But they got it. They working on that right now.
You know what I'm saying? Something that's gonna stimulate that region of the brain to get you to feel whatever it is that's going on in the virtual. Oh, buddy.
So you seeing some of those things too. And also too, because Pluto is the dictator, the power hungry individual, it's the dichotomy between the group of people and the dictator. So it's a two-way street. You can also see the man or the woman who's in charge, who's supposed to be quote unquote the leader, or in this sense, who's coming off as the dictator in a sense, where he tries or she tries to quail the people or the group's efforts too. So, it just depends on who's playing the part. But history has showed that, the power is typically with the people.
Yeah.
So, but go ahead, man, because I
Yeah.
kind of want to
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
the previous transit too a little bit. But go ahead of
Oh
Pluto
yeah.
through
Yeah.
through
I mean,
Cap.
on a personal tip, y'all, we're gonna do personal, and then we're gonna get into some world stage stuff, right? If you just chimed in, man, everybody who got in who didn't push the like button, man, please push the like button, make it match the amount of people that's in the room for us. Um, because we about to get really, 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 really dedicated to this thing. You know what I'm saying? And so please push the like button if you haven't already. So on a personal note, again, um, planets from our viewpoint, we understand that they are beautiful representations of aspects of consciousness. Venus is how we conceptualize beauty. So its position where it was in the sign gives us a great filter on what you perceive to be beautiful, how you look at relationships, things of that nature. So each of these planets are different aspects of the psyche. Okay. That's all they are. They're different aspects of the psyche. Now, again, Pluto, power, control, manipulation, endings, sex, um, transmutation, um, influence, secrets, magnetism, um, getting to the hidden truths of things. Aquarius is groups of friends. So now you can have powerful friends or friends that's going to force you to transform, friendships that's going to end, new friendships that's going to take you to a powerful position. Of course, the key is to make sure that you don't get caught up. We don't get caught up into being used, being manipulated, and doing things that really don't serve us no good, in a sense, being that dictator in a sense as well. But it's really about coming into a powerful network of influence and really cutting the groups off that don't even really serve you. That's the major thing I'm seeing with this one. Pluto in Aquarius wants you to cut off the groups that no longer serve your best interest that can help you evolve. So, with that, let's get into some quick history here. Let me share my entire screen. Let me know if you can see this. Can you see this, Drew?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's go from a slide. So let me get rid of that. All right. So here goes some keywords from Pluto. Again, you can see sex. You can see death, which represents end, the struggle, um, force and power, even black magic, renewing, okay, regeneration, transformation, dictatorship, like Jew pointed out, right? So it has all those things associated with it. Okay. Um, you can type in astrology, go to Google Images and type in astrology or type in Pluto astrology keywords. You're gonna see this come up on Pinterest. You should do all the planets and save them so you can have this so you can start educating yourself. Okay. So same thing with Uranus. Uranus astrology keywords, Google image. It's going to be on Pinterest. Grab it. Okay. Now Uranus is interesting because we got to talk about this because Uranus is what did it tell you at the top? It rules Aquarius. So this is the vibration of the Aquarian energy that's going to be coupled with the Plutonian energy. So it's accidents, it's unconventional, it's revolutionary, it's freedom, it's unorthodox like a mug, it's a genius, but it's chaos too. It's shock, it's unusual, it's a divorce. See, a divorce of friendships. It's science. You see what I'm saying? It's eccentricity. It's like Einstein. You know what I mean? Natural disasters as well. Okay. So Uranus is a very, very, very interesting thing. I always say when you take plutonium and mix it with uranium, that's a bomb. Okay.
You think?
So this is very dangerous, especially if they ever get in a certain angle from one another, a certain proximity of one another, a certain alignment with one another. It becomes dangerous. Okay. All right. So the last time that we saw Pluto in Aquarius, listen to me closely. The last time we saw Pluto in Aquarius was January the 28th, 1778. That's the founding of the country. I know in 1778 that this is when the colonies got together and created what's called the Articles of Confederation and the Perpetual Union between the states. And the very first thing that they said in 1778 was the style of this confederacy shall be the United States of America. Here is a little nugget for you, okay? Because I think that we should all be enthusiasts. Let me tell you something about being an enthusiast about something. When you're enthusiastic about something and discipline, meaning you're gonna keep like going at it because you enjoy it, it's easy for you to learn it. Okay, it's hard to learn something you don't like because it's just frustrating, right? But I'm telling you, I'm about to lay out some new history on the other YouTube channel, which by the way is called Spiritual Politics on YouTube. You got to find it, Spiritual Politics. In fact, it's on all podcasts right now. Spiritual Politics with Noble and Pooh. I am telling you, I'm about to lay down and rewrite history, literally, or represent it, shall I say? Okay. So Article 1 is said the style of this confederacy shall be the United States of America. This is the first time that America is calling themselves the United States. Okay. So this idea is birthed right here when Pluto is in Aquarius. That is a celestial fact. Okay. Now, I want you to pay a close attention because I'm about to show you something dealing with the planet Uranus. Okay. Now, Jew pointed this out to me. I said, you lying to me. Then I had to go check it. And then I'm like, oh, he wasn't lying. So let's start at number one at the top. 1778, the planet Uranus is in Gemini. That's the Revolutionary War. Okay. That had been taking place since 1775. Okay. So it's like this Revolutionary War, Uranus and Gemini. And then in this, that, Jew, and then we about to go 84 cycles. So each point is 84 cycles. I mean, 84 years,
84 years.
which is one cycle. Okay. So now the next time Uranus will be in Gemini will be in 1862 in that era. And that's the Civil War. And then the next time was going to be in 1942, which is World War II, which actually started in 39. But Uranus is in Gemini again. And the next time is coming up in 2 years, 2 to 3 years. It goes in 2025, but it's going to be official in 2026 when it goes in. Go ahead.
I just want to add this for context to this too, to see that so people can see the layers to this. It's these cycles. Just to give another example of this, it was the same thing with Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
Saturn, I can't remember the exact years, but at the time Saturn was in Capricorn. Aquarius. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
When Saturn was in Aquarius, we had the liberation of the African in South Africa. Group of Black people, right? Change occurred, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, some people give Saturn's rulership to Black people, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of found that interesting as I saw some of these correlations. And
Right.
maybe it checks out. So, and then after that, it was the uh the Civil War. I'm not the Civil War, the Civil Rights Movement,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so now we're in another. We were just moving out of that pocket because Saturn has just ingressed into Pisces, but now there's real talk about reparations for Black people
Mm-hmm.
in San Francisco, the state of California, other places, even here in Illinois. I forget which town that was where they had put a proposal together for that. So once you start to, when you can pinpoint, and then you go back and say, okay, because Saturn typically doesn't get into this sign for 28 to 30 years.
Right.
And then you look, you say, okay, well, what was going on at that time? And you can see every time it was something dealing with Black people and their liberation, their freedom, their expansion, them, you know, coming into some type of uh, retribution, shall we
Right.
say,
Right.
right? So that's just another layer to just so you can see, as he's laying this out. You can use all of these bodies to be able to look at these cycles to see this.
Yeah. Absolutely. Especially, I would say Saturn. Then going back, you may possibly can look at Jupiter because it takes 12 years. And so what happened with Mars is it's a 2-year cycle. Every 2 years, you really ain't seeing nothing that's on a generational thing like that. You know what I mean? Um, but hold on, Jew. Let me see something here. Um, okay.
There we go.
We up. All right. Let
Mm-hmm.
me do the slideshow from current slide. Cool. All right. And so that third cycle, we was in World War II, and now coming up in 2 years. But like I said, in 2025, it'll come in Gemini, but it's gonna go back in Taurus. But in 2026, it's here. It'll be there on an average for about 7 years. So we're about to go through the fourth cycle coming up, dealing with the planet Uranus. And he hasn't missed since the inception of the United States of America. You got Revolutionary War in the beginning, but that's for the people, right? The people has spoken. Civil War, woo-wee, the people have spoken. World War II, a little different. Not too astute on it. But we're in, we're going in the fourth cycle, man. And this thing right now, he's 100%. Hasn't missed yet. Has not missed. And that's a little that's that's puzzling. Yeah, that's
Or did
it.
you want to say troubling?
Yeah, that's the word. That shit's troubling. For real. You know what I mean? So let's move on to Pluto real fast. All right. Now, Pluto hasn't made one full cycle yet. So when you see 1, 2, 3, 4, this is Pluto going a quarter of the way, okay, until it comes back to number one. Okay. So again, at point number one, this is the beginning. It's Revolutionary War. Point number two, Pluto is in Taurus. Now, I know Aquarius to Taurus is a problem. That's called a square. Okay. Point number three, when it goes another quarter of the way, which is halfway across, which is directly across from Aquarius, which we talked about earlier, that was World War II. It's the same wars, but now Pluto is on what's called a harsh aspect from where it was starting at point number one.
Mm.
And then point number four, which was very interesting. This was in 83, it came over there, retrograde out, but at 84 it became official. 84 is the Reagan election. There's no war on the soil, so we think, but it's like Cold War going on, Libya, we bombing on Libya. The Desert Storm ended up starting in 90. You know what I'm saying? We at war, but it ain't on the soil though. And I said, wow, that's interesting. And then Spirit gave me something to look at. Gave me something to look at. And you know how it is when it just come to you. And I'm like, so here's a question, and I'm gonna show you because you don't know, but what do you get out of Pluto in Scorpio? What is the first thing that pop up to your mind?
For me,
Yeah, Pluto and Scorpio. What should we be looking forward to? Like, what do you see?
man, I think sex, man.
Bam! I knew he was gonna say that. I knew he was gonna say that. Hence, pop that pussy. See, I set him up for it because I already knew what it was. No, but I'm serious though. Now, how did I arrive here? Because I'm thinking I'm in the 80s in the timeline, looking back, like what's going on? And I'm like, nah, I remember, nah, Pluto and Scorpio, nigga, that's some sex shit. What was going on in the 80s with some sex shit? Oh, pop that motherfucking coochie was popping. I said, oh, okay. So then this is Luke's chart when he was born. Hey, Jew, here go your marker.
Oh no!
Oh,
I saw it. So did you? No.
So when earlier in the show, y'all heard Jew say, what did you say about Aquarius, Jew? Aquarius has what?
Some strange sexual overtones. And that's putting it lightly.
Venus in Aquarius. That's Jew's marker right there. Venus in Aquarius. And Moon is in Aquarius too. And so now you got Luke. Like Luke is the strip club godfather. You know what I'm saying? And then it dawned on me. I don't know if she here, but shout out to Devora. Because one of the founders of Two Live Crew, that was like her husband and shit. You know what I'm saying? And she had Aquarius. And now I say, God, when I seen it, I said, God damn it. Spirit been with us the whole time. That's why she be around in a sense, because it's about to give you some great insight into a track of time. See what I'm saying? And so, anyway, you know that. So now this becomes very interesting. Very interesting because then I'm like, this is Luke and shit. But see, Luke had an album called Banned in the USA. Right? Right? So you can't make this shit up, man.
Oh
now I had a tab, I had to reset my computer. But to give you the history, if memory serves me correctly, this is very interesting. So hold on, let me come out of this for a minute so y'all can see me because I can't see y'all. But you can see me, Jew, like in a corner somewhere.
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, all right. So the history is we be saying, yo, Luke went to the Supreme Court. Because remember, I'm saying in the 80s when Pluto got an Aquarius, right? I'm sorry, was that Pluto and Aquarius in it? No. I'm sorry. In the 80s, let me back up one. That's here. All right. No, when Pluto was in Scorpio, I'm sorry. So when Pluto was in Scorpio in the 80s, I'm saying, oh, well, wait a minute. That was a sex thing that was popping, right? So, but it went in a war on the soil. So a lot of us be hearing when we get to Luke, in a sense, because Luke is that sex, you know, Luke by far is that sex thing, right? Albums nasty as you want to be with it. It was so crazy that he had to go to court over his albums, right? But it wasn't the freedom of speech at the Supreme Court. That the only time he'd been to the Supreme Court was dealing with a copyright infringement, in which the judge ruled in their favor and said, nope, that's art, and it was more of a parody. Okay. Now, what he did go to court for, dealing with the music was obscene. The story goes like this. A Broward County deputy sheriff, not even the sheriff, deputy sheriff, heard the music, got it transcribed, took it to a county judge to say, hey, I need you to say that this shit is obscene. This shit is just crazy. The judge hears it and writes the order and says, this is obscene. The deputy and some of the other deputies start going to stores in Miami and saying, hey, you sell this, we arresting you. The very next week, Luke's team filed in federal court to say, hey, this is bogus and whatnot. And I forget the word that they used. It was something else they wanted to see, that it was some type of illegal thing that Luke and them claimed that, the police had did and shit. So the federal judge says, yeah, it was some type of illegal thing, but this music is obscure. It's crazy. You can't do this. And so Luke and them took it to a federal appeals court, and the appeals judge said, no, this is art, this is music, and the defendants failed to address the music part of this. And then they overturned the appeal. They overturned the federal
Previous
judgment.
ruling.
You know what I'm saying? Right, from the feds and shit. The police got mad and tried to go to the Supreme Court with it, and the Supreme Court totally rejected it and didn't even hear it. So Luke did not go to Supreme Court for, the obscene, the craziness in the music. That was for something else. It was more of, again, they thought it was a copyright infringement. All right. And so anyway, him going to the Supreme Court, to me, the way I start to see it was, so now the focus of America became in the streets. You see what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, and something that I didn't put in here, but I'm going to go to it live so you can see it real fast. Let me do this. I'm going to go. If we type in is black demographics, maybe. Let's see if we see divorce rates. See if it's on there on black demographics, but I'm not looking for divorce rates, but I just want to show you something real fast. There's a graph. Here we go. There we go. When black women were more likely to be married than white women. Remember I told you, Jew, I said, nigga, something happened in 1990. Remember I told you that?
Right.
So from 80 to 90, look where this shit go. You see what I'm saying? And this is just a comparison to why. See, when they saying in the beginning, in the 1890s, when they start taking this data, black women were more likely to be married than white women. And then in 1970, they became about even.
And then in the 80s, it started to go the other way.
That's right. And then from 80 to 90, 90 to 2000, like it ain't been the same since 90. You see what I'm saying? And then I said, boy, what the fuck happened in the culture? And then hold on, black men are on the same path too, right? You see this in comparison to white men. So something happened in the 80s to the 90s.
So in the 40s, they was about the same.
That's right. That's right. And then you see the war on drugs come in as they put this demographic in there as well. All right, let me see something else on there. So I want to get it. So I just wanted to show y'all that, because see what happened, what I didn't put in the PowerPoint was the 80s to the 90s, especially the 90s. See, the 90s is, I don't know why, but I do know why. It's considered the golden era of hip hop, right? But see, the 90s, I had a timeline on another PowerPoint is where you got colors started coming in the movie, the Crippin' and the Blood, and started going heavy far as being publicized. Right, they movement became real heavy, very influential throughout the whole United States. Right, the culture, the war in the culture is actually through the motherfucking music, and then we turned it on ourselves. All right, so let me get to this slideshow, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here for a quick second, and show you where, show you what white people at. All right, so it's no war on the soil, but we banned from the USA type shit. But now the 80s is the dope era. That's the coke era for sure. The 90s is the gangster rap era. And we ain't really recovered since. Hence, that's why Common came out with a song back in the day when he was dissing Cube and the whole West Coast shit, talking about I used to love her and her was hip hop. And he was talking about when she went to the West and she started hitting switches and wanting to squeeze her Glock and all doing all that kind of crazy shit. Which is, it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. You know what I'm saying? No diss to the West. It just is what it is. That's their reality. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't been right ever since that time. What a coincidence. That whole NWA era, that timeline, 80s, late 80s into the 90s, we now see this drastic change as well. You see what I'm saying? As far as the institution of the relationship
And
goes and shit.
and I want to just add this real fast before you go forward with
Mm-hmm.
this. To all of the people that say this, they say, uh, why do we allow music or entertainers? Why do we give them so much mental space?
Mm-hmm.
They'll say that, right? They'll say, why do we look up to entertainers? See, it's no everything in the external world, it will give you a indication on how consciousness works. So like you look
Mm-hmm.
up and you marvel at stars at night,
Mm-hmm.
and you're looking at their beauty and all of their glory, right? It's the same thing with the, because see, you're looking at these people, and this is the part that people they don't want to admit. People are connected to these people because of the lifestyles that they live.
That's right.
And somewhere in your psychology, you would like to live that same lifestyle. So that's where the emotional connection is coming into play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we see it all the time. And not only that, but people who are like at the head of the pack, right? And in this case, superstars, that's our perception of them. Wow, they made it. Wow, they're important. Wow, they have prestige. Wow, she's beautiful. Wow, he has power, right? Well, you got a little structure down in your limbic brain called an amygdala, right? And that little structure has been shown that when people we automatically move behind people who appear to have power, resources. We hook, line, and sinker get lock and step behind the person who appears to have the most influence.
Mm-hmm.
That's a neurological fact. This is why you have to study how you're made before you just hear these people and these talking points. Yeah, it sounds good. Oh, they're just entertainers. They're just this. Why do we man, you better learn how you're made.
Mm-hmm.
Learn how you're made, because see, that's half the battle. Because now if you know how you're made, now you can put a wedge in, because now you become conscious of it. And now you can tell people, listen, or you can redirect people in their value system. Now that they understand that, and now you can place value in something that's a little bit more, say, positive, if that's the word that you want to use, right? Or you want to, or you know, people want to say we should be in the home, the mothers and the fathers. Well, I was just in an institution this Sunday, and when they called for everyone who had parental issues, whether mama wasn't in the house, daddy wasn't in the house, mama was there but she wasn't there, daddy was there but it just like he wasn't there, the pews were overrun.
Mm-hmm.
So now if we're wired to look for people who have power and influence, but mommy wasn't, daddy wasn't, uncle wasn't, auntie wasn't. They show you, what did they show you? No socioeconomic studies. The difference in the psychology from children who grew up in a house versus those who maybe just grew up in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
This had impact on their telomeres, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah. For real.
Man, listen.
For real. Which y'all telomeres are the coding around a gene, sort of like the little plastic thing at the end of the shoestring. You know what I'm saying, that you put through the, your little holes, little loops, like that coating, that protective aspect is very important, man. You know, so
But
this
go
being in
ahead,
a
man.
house is expanding that. You know what I mean? So but and we gonna and what you said, knowing yourself, we about to get directly into that. Because see, what you see on the screen is this, ladies and gents. The first cycle is just the Revolutionary War. That's the beginning of the country. When we a quarter way through the cycle, because this is, remember, Pluto has not, it's just now getting back to where it was. So all of us here, we are alive in the time in which Pluto finally made it back to where it was at the founding of the country. That means Thomas Jefferson and all them, they just couldn't live 200 something years to see it. Right. So we're in the time to see it. Very interesting. So a quarter way at point number 2, Pluto's in Taurus. Taurus is money. That's when Lincoln brung in the Revenue Act. Lincoln is basically the founder of the IRS. They weren't called IRS then, but literally because he had to figure out a way to get them to pay taxes to pay for the war, had to generate that revenue. The IRS is really on your side. I keep telling y'all, I'm going to do something on a new channel, Spiritual Politics, but I'm going to tell you because the first founder, the first director of the IRS is George Boutwell. George Boutwell said South Carolina and Florida should be given to the Negroes. That's what he said. In fact, a first couple of the directors of the IRS were abolitionists. Okay. And so the money, Taurus, point number 2, Pluto, the change, the end, something's changing. The revenue department came in. Okay. Phase 3, Pluto are a quarter of the way. Pluto and Leo at this particular time, it's World War II. It's popping. We on the last leg in the 80s, right? Pluto and Scorpio became real sexual, real sexual. All right. No war on the soil, but it's a war in the music, which is fucking with you. And here's the key. Now, I used to always show this when I used to lecture in my early days because this is very important. See, the white boy understands something through a system called Freemasonry. And what he studies in Freemasonry in his second degree, known as the Fellowcraft degree, he is supposed to be well adept at 7 liberal arts and sciences. Those last 7 steps going up to the top. And at the very tickety top is astronomy. That's studying the celestial spheres. But music ranks higher than geometry. Music ranks higher than arithmetic, logic, rhetoric, and grammar. And the question that you gotta ask is, well, shit, can music influence the spheres? Not astronomy influence music. Can music influence the spheres?
Oh boy.
So now I'm gonna show you what white people want. This is Stephanie Chase website. She says the phrase music of the spheres refers to the intertwined relationship between the structures of music and those of the physical world, and a conscious awareness of mystical or spiritual qualities being transmitted through composed sound. All music consists of a form of dualism, an oral yin and yang, in which consonance is inextricably, however you say it. I'm a little, I was held back in the second grade, y'all, so I got a little, I got a little, uh,
What is that?
inextricably.
Inextricably.
But link with this complementary force of dissonance. One does not meaningfully exist without the other. Dissonance provokes a form of tension, a settled relation in the notes of music. Now look at that tension. Man, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna have to do something though. We're gonna have to do something, Juwan. That whole Lil Jon era, Bone Crusher era. Listen, that shit way worse than drill music. I mean, that shit was getting niggas shot in the club. Nigga.
You ain't lying.
Like, nigga, fuck your clique. West Side, nigga, fuck you. Man, them niggas was tripping, bro. That shit had us crazy. You know what I'm saying? And so, but anyway, this form of tension.
Yeah. Yeah.
unsettled relation in the notes of music and is relieved by the consonants of resolution. So she goes on to say, we hear this whether we are listening to Bach, Mozart, and some other people. She ain't really going too tough. Besides, she get into Pythagoras, but I cut that off. But here's about I'm about to get to the end of this. There's also something on Wiki called Musica Universalis, which is the music of the spheres. Now, listen, look at this. This is a philosophical concept that regards proportions in the movement of celestial bodies, the sun, moon, and planets as a form of music. The theory, originating in Greece, was a tenet of the Pythagorean school and was later developed by 16 astronomer Johannes Kepler. Kepler did not believe this music to be audible, but felt that it could be nevertheless heard by the soul, right? And so we get a little bit into the history. The concept of the music of spheres incorporates a metaphysical principle that mathematical relationships express qualities or tones of energy which manifest in numbers, visual angles, shapes, and sounds, all connected within a pattern of proportion. Pythagoras first identified that the pitch of a musical note is in inverse proportion to the length of the string that produces it, and that intervals between harmonious sound frequencies form simple numerical ratios. Pythagoras proposed that the sun, moon, and planets all emit their own unique hum based on their orbital revolution, and that the quality of life on Earth reflects the tenor of celestial sounds, which are physically imperceptible to the human ear. Woo wee! That means that you are an instrument.
Oh boy.
See, when you say, see how you made, now it's known fact when you start looking at some of the stuff like a guitar looks like the human spine connected to the pelvis, right? You can start finding some things, just the outward expression instruments that are really like, glands and things in your body. Okay. But the mere fact that you got a heartbeat is a rhythm in of itself. And cells spinning around you is energy in of itself. And this is why you can feel people like, oh no, I feel their energy and whoop de whoop and so forth, right? So listen, man, the answer is in the music. But here's the key. I'm not talking about a global programming, which will be great for sure. We're talking about self. See, one thing about Uranus and Aquarius is all this is the most, it's an oxymoron. Aquarius cares for humanity, but a key word for it is the unique individual. It's highly individualistic and does things for humanity. Got to understand that oxymoron that it carries. So it's about us, that individual that would do something, that produce something for a better humanity. And then you can do that through sound frequencies. And that could be, man, it ain't hard. You know what I mean? That could be taking just certain sounds, the meditative CDs and things of that nature and whatnot. And then learning how to program that, which again, that ain't hard. And so I ain't want to get too, I don't want to get into the practical thing. The thing today was just to give you a conversation. So let me show you a little bit dealing with the spheres, right? This email comes from Vivian on the 19th. So it was a couple days ago. What she say? Greetings, Minister Jew and Noble. Thank you guys again for your teachings and your monthly scout reports. Noble, you got it right again. You told me to make sure I played the lottery this entire month. I played a bit like today and won a quick 1,500. I'm not done yet. I'm going to get the big one. I got y'all for real, for real. I cash app to both of you. Thank you. Right? That was on March 19th. Because what did I tell her on March the 6th? What I did the very first thing I told her on March 6th was what? Play lottery all month, especially towards the 26th. Because I see something. You have some relationship energy this month as well. Work your love magic, girl. You got a code red, so do all the necessary code red protocols. But do the money technique, Vivian. We are expecting winnings. And then she won. Y'all saw it. March 19th. I can't make this up. Timestamp. And that's her report that I sent her that's in there. Right? How? Because all of this stuff is on the frequency, man. All of it's on the frequency. All of it. All of it. And it is not hard, but it's absolutely 100% based upon you. For example, I had a once in a 12-year big money alignment, right? I went to go play lottery. I win, but I didn't win what I wanted to win, right? So my energy is different. But you know what's more impressive to me and what I kept seeing, and then it kept showing up when I was in conversations with you or on the phone with somebody in conversation of the meal ticket. One of the meal tickets is when you present this information that you're on, because that's what you hold of value. See, sometimes when you understand what Taurus is or second house, Venus is value. It's not just money, but it's value. What do you value? And what I value is really the truth of history and breaking the spell. Okay. So when you see this right here, I'm putting in the email, yo, subscribe to this. It's a whole nother channel on YouTube called Spiritual Politics. Most importantly, it's really for anybody who think that America got it in for us, because that I'm telling you now, man, that's not true. It's just not true. It's not true. Like Jew used to say this about people teaching you the Illuminati and teaching you, that kind of stuff. We don't have to start there no more. So we don't have to start with conspiracies when it comes to conversation. When it comes to history, we don't have to start with slavery and the Klan. And so to me, these four guys represent, it represents it all. Abe is it's a political thing. Martin's a political thing. The Klan definitely is a trigger, but then you got that Tupac shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just that real shit. That's like, okay.
That's when we going in go mode.
Yeah, that's
go mode.
When, yeah, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So Spiritual Politics is on all major platforms on your podcast. Open up your device right now, look for it. Subscribe to that shit, because I'm about to be dropping some educational shit over there. Seriously. People hear that shit and be like, bro, you need to go teach history class. I never heard of this. Why? And I'm like, bro, we just did. I think we got history entirely too early in our development. I'm not gonna say that's my best answer. You know what I'm saying? But tune into that shit. Seriously. All right. And yeah, let me turn the screen share off, man. And then we can bust it up, man. Y'all got any questions or anything? Put it in the chat.
Hey,
Where's that
and
at?
listen, see, it's this how this thing about to flow, y'all. You got, I always say this, is you got 4 options. 4. And we about to start categorizing each position under these 4 options. Because see, if the conversation and the narrative that's being had is white supremacy, right, Noble?
Mm-hmm.
It's white supremacy, what they doing to us, what they're gonna do to us. These are the narratives, right? Now, you got 4 options. 1, your protest, because that's what you're doing, right? It's a we're gonna call it a protest, is going to be impactful, and you're going to get the people who you say is doing all of these things to you to make a 180 and change their minds and have a change of heart and do right by you and replenish you and put you in the game, coach. That's one option. The second option is you're just going to keep complaining, or if we want to make it pretty up, you're going to keep protesting to no avail. And a lot of that, it seems to be That's the primary thing that seems to be happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the third option. You're going to decide to get active and fight, literally. I ain't talking about the signs, the looting, the all the acts of frustration to show you're upset with the system. No, you're going to actually go into combat. Because see, this is the part, a lot of people, we all know this. Throughout history, anytime there was a disagreement about principles, ideals, men went to war.
Yep.
Ain't no way around that. You could try to be diplomatic. You can go the Libra route. Let's talk about it. Let's put some things on paper. Let's create some laws, make some treaties. It happens sometimes too. But when we can't find that middle ground, it's going the opposite direction, called Aries, and it's going to be a physical fight.
Yeah.
That's the third option. Fourth option, you're waiting for a divine intervention.
Mm-hmm.
Your God, your Neter, your Orisha, your spirit guide, right? You're waiting on some type of divine intervention that's going to cause some act of God, some act of nature. And here's an example. The ones that say they're waiting on the sun to get really hot and make the earth really hot so that the pale skinned people will cease to exist because the sun is going to burn them up.
Mm-hmm.
We've been hearing that for a long time, right, Noble?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you're of the mindset that the mothership is going to come down. The baby planes and the mothership. You may be of that mindset. And I'm not saying any of this is true or false, but these are the things that are falling under these categories. But this is what we do know from objective vantage points, that, like what you say earlier, if they didn't come when we were slaves,
That's right,
and things were at an all-time heinous moment through Jim Crow and all of that, what makes you think they gonna be back down while me and you is on YouTube Live?
for real.
Right?
Man, you balling. You built
Right,
it, man. You
right.
balling.
So I'm not disregarding it, because see, I'm not naive. I practice these things. But see, I can't always speak from the level of what it is that I know. I have to engage people where they at and have them make some do some psychoanalysis on themselves. That's also Pluto.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
So you're gonna have to, those are the four options that you have. That's it. That's it.
That's right.
And so we have to be honest, and if there's any evidence of either one of those four options being beneficial, then maybe we need to explore that particular option as a collective. And something else too I want to add, Noble. See, lately in the news cycle, you've had China's president,
Yeah.
Vladimir Putin,
Yeah.
Rocket Man,
Yeah.
the Saudis.
Yeah. The Cold War is turning hot.
The Cold War is turning
Or Cold War Part 2, however you want to put it.
hot.
Yeah.
Hot. And
Yeah.
they're doing demonstrations out at sea together. Together. Now, why am I bringing that up? Because these people is what you would consider to be dictators.
Yes. That's the Plutonian ray.
Right?
Their Pluto in the United States is Aquarius.
Listen, do you know? Listen, listen. Do you know what's his name? The Rocket Man. What is that? That's North Korea, right?
Yeah, Kim Jong. Kim Jong Un. Yeah.
He has laws in his country where it's illegal for you to wear long black leather jackets.
Yeah.
Guess why? Noble, guess why?
Because he got what?
Because he got one on. He don't want nobody cramping his style. See, this be the thing. See, everybody be talking that talk. Everybody talk that good old talk.
Man.
The fall of America and Armageddon, right? Boy, you don't want no parts of that.
No.
Listen, let me tell you something.
No.
Listen. No. You got somebody that won't let millions of people wear long leather coats because he has one on and he doesn't want anybody else cramping his style.
Yeah, man.
Or I think another law he passed, it was no laughing for 30 days.
Wow.
I think they were celebrating the passing of his father or somebody, and it was a rule. You can't get caught laughing publicly.
Man.
Do you hear this?
Wow.
But you think you think you ready.
Wow.
You think you ready? Do you think you better think again.
Man.
And see, you know, they in China is no different. They telling you what they setting the standard for what you can and cannot do. So the reason that I'm bringing that up is because I'm talking about this union that they're forming together over this last year. And there's something called NATO. Where you have these European countries, these Western world nations, America, Canada, places like that, who signed into agreement that they were going to make an alliance with one another back in April, I think of 49. Was it World War II? Something like that around there, DeBeer?
Yes.
Now, why am I bringing that up? Guess where Pluto was at?
Where?
Leo.
Yep. I just saw it. Yep.
No, you gonna.
This is cold. This is hot water.
Put some ice in there. You know where it's at.
I can't because it's.
Go tell Buffy to help you. Right. So that's my little Aquarius right there.
Yeah.
So Pluto was in Leo, and so now what you're having is the mirror, that 180 that I spoke about earlier. That's why I said I'm looking at the trends of Pluto opposite Leo at this time.
Right.
Because back at that time, in the late 40s, NATO was established and countries came together and banded together against their opposition. So now here we are with that mirror being or that reflection being looked at.
Yeah.
And now you have other nations banding together to potentially form what?
That's right. The new axis.
It's a new, thank you.
The new axis.
So, man, listen.
It's dangerous, man. It's dangerous. And see, this is why, for real, seriously, like, you gotta go subscribe to the new channel. All right. I'm gonna put it in the chat again. It's right there. It's YouTube at Spiritual Politics 777. You will find it right there. Subscribe to the new channel because that's why I'm gonna drop the history in the playbook. And see, here's the thing, too, right? When Jew opened up earlier talking about this whole Pluto shit in Aquarius being in opposition to Leo, and this pretty much this fucked up shit that's going on with children at this particular time, we cannot afford to sit back and do nothing. Now, I'm going to say that they don't mean everybody got to write legislation and do shit like that and protest. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is you got to find your way to participate, to put in a counter current. And for sure, what I'm absolutely going to say is when we start doing meetups, it is absolutely imperative that you make it to the absolute best of your ability, because then that's when we going to become one collective instrument and we going to send that signal off the mountaintop, literally and figuratively. Like, literally, our history is we go climb mountains, we have an image and an intention, and we shoot that thing out into space. Okay. And it always manifests itself every single time. Okay. Haven't missed yet. Okay. And so we're going to have to do something, but I definitely need y'all on that new channel. Like I say this, man, I love giving people stuff where it's like, hey, this is, I want y'all to, win, but I'm asking for a favor, and that favor is definitely subscribe to the new channel. Subscribe to it, get notified to it, comment on it, click thumbs up on it, because I'm about to just represent some stuff that's imperative, that's gonna lead. Like I'm thinking about when we ain't even really here, and then people come up. Like I said, I did a podcast called Message to the Black Man the other day. It's not on YouTube, it's actually on the actual podcast on iTunes and all that stuff, Spotify and stuff like that. I haven't uploaded Message to the Black Man to YouTube yet. So you have to subscribe on both the YouTube channel and the podcast. Okay. The podcast is directly on your phone. Okay. So Message to the Black Man, I just called it for what it is. I said the black man is pretty much a bitch made, the biggest bitch made motherfucker there is. Okay. And it's many reasons I say this. Again, I give you two reasons mainly. One, there was no Harry Tubman. It was Harriet, not Harry. That's my biggest gripe. And they was just soft. They were just some soft ass niggas. And I ain't gonna lie, there's a part of me hate being from that part, but then it's a beautiful part because it's like, hey, now we know how to break that. Another thing is, Denmark VC, like, he planned a slave rebellion. He didn't even do it. He planned it. And his, not his, but there was another slave by the name of George. I forget his last name, maybe Wilson, but George, because in my mind I call him Chicken George. This Chicken George ass slave nigga heard about the plan, told his master, and that's what got Denmark VC and many others hung literally to their death. So niggas been snitching on niggas since fucking slave times. Literally, go read the history of Denmark VC. Okay, but my bigger point is this: those pockets of history are not our starting point. Our starting point is how would you like to know that if if you looked This right here is the United States Constitution and America's other documents. If you were to look into again, I always say it, the 1774 Articles of Association before the Declaration of Independence. And right here in point number 2, like I literally have it highlighted, so you can't see it, but it's highlighted. Oh, you probably can see it. That we will neither import nor purchase any slave imported after the first day of December next, in which time we will wholly discontinue the slave trade and will neither be concerned in it ourselves.
Uh-oh.
Then the next page goes on. This is before the Declaration of Independence, bro. So now, before the United States of America is there, and then when they established, and even before that's before the Declaration of Independence, and then after independence, you about to get ready to go to Constitution Hall and start writing the Constitution. But before that, then you're gonna get the Northwest Ordinance, and the last article, Article 6 of the Northwest Ordinance, literally says, hey man, by the way, it ain't gonna be no slaves in the new territory. They ain't even got to the territory yet, Jew. They telling you the next part where we're going is going to be this place called Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan. That's going to be the new shit. And by the way, in this new shit, ain't no slaves allowed in this new shit. And they don't even have a constitution yet. So if we would have got the history that we was being looked after in the beginning and black people fought in the Revolutionary War, our perception would be much different than you starting to start us off with some slave shit. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we have to do, is really get into that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the new channel was really about, is systematically showing you the timeline of what's happening, what the truth is. You know what I'm saying? So we can reformat ourselves. You know what I mean? And that's just real shit, you know?
Yeah. Nah, it got it. Listen, man. We ain't never been the duo to soften the blows, man. I did it one time last year with the Dahomey curse, right? No,
yeah, man. Listen, man. That damn Woman King shit came out, and Jew was gonna go in. Man, listen, he ain't want to hurt black people feelings and bust a bubble and really just show, you know, now people know that the Dahomey tribe was motherfucker part of selling niggas and doing rituals to put us in the motherfucking in the jammy. You know what I'm saying?
They had listen, man, they had folks doing circles around trees. They literally called it the tree of forgetfulness. Literally.
Yeah.
But you know,
look.
you know what happens, man? When you start telling them type of truths, man. See, everything is so politics now. So, you know, when truths come out that destroy narratives, people they gonna run from it, man, because what else do they have left to hold on to?
That's right.
They have to create a new belief. They have to create a new value. They have to create a new image, and that takes too much subconscious programming to do. Because after all, you know, you've been told these things for like the 3/5 demonstration.
Right.
You know,
man.
You know, when you really look at that, Noble enlightened me that when you look at that, it's like, wait a minute, man.
Yeah, well, like why would you want to? Vivian in the chat, y'all. She just said she won $300 on the day I told her to play. Well, up to that day, she won it on that day as well. But like, why would you want to do that? See, the argument is, oh, you know, Jay-Z. You know, he said it. Jay-Z is like, you know, hey, what's that? How the verse go, Jew? In the land of the free,
it was free.
Yeah.
In the land of the free with the blacks enslaved.
Yeah,
3/5 of man, I believe the phrase.
Exactly. And it's like, nah, bro, that's wrong. Like, y'all niggas walk around here mad. What the fuck you mean we 3/5? Why ain't you count us as one? Well, who do you want to count you? Niggas can't even answer that question. who do you want to count you? Because who is the conversation talking to in the Constitution? That's Article 1, Section 2. Like, who are they talking to? Oh, they're talking to the white slaveholder, which is called the representatives in Congress. It's talking to those people. So do you know if they count all you goddamn slaves, it's going to be more of them in power with that ideology? So you shouldn't want to be counted at all, because if you don't count them at all, it shrinks their representation in Congress. So fuck 3/5. I wish he was nothing, for real. But here's the key though. Since you couldn't count them all, again, that now it's going to shrink your representation in Congress. And that's the problem. We don't know nothing. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I'll show you a little piece because it did show up last time. Where was it? Right here. That's the Northwest Ordinance. It says there shall be neither slavery nor involuntary servitude in said territory. What you talking about? This before the Constitution. What you talking about, man? What you talking about? Listen, man, this shit was so beautiful. This shit was so beautiful. This shit is better than gangbanging. This shit is way better. Listen, gangbangers ain't got shit on the white man. Nothing. Y'all can't touch the way they was gangbanging. And chess ain't shit because these niggas was playing states. Okay, these niggas was playing states. You imagine Delaware coming in as a slave state, as state number 1. Then Pennsylvania came in as a free state, as state number 2. Okay. And then Jersey came in as a free state, and then Georgia came in as a slave state. Okay. Facts. And then the next one was a double header. It was what was that, Jew? It wasn't Rhode Island. What's the little one over there by Connecticut? Connecticut and Massachusetts came in as free states. Then they said, okay, you're gonna bring in Connecticut and Massachusetts. I tell you what, Maryland and South Carolina coming in as slave states. Then the free states motherfuckers was like, okay, New Hampshire, you coming in. And then the slave states had to respond and be like, okay, Virginia, you coming in. Then the free state said, hey, New York, NYC, where my New York niggas at? Brooklyn in the house, y'all coming in as a free state. And then the slave states responded with North Carolina. You feel me? And so then we get to another card on this whole thing was it was flowing like that. Even like Illinois came in as a free state, and then they responded with Alabama as a slave state. Arkansas came in as a slave state, and then we responded with Detroit, my Detroit niggas. Where y'all at? Michigan came in as a free state. Like literally, this game was being played, and those states that I just named literally start coming in just like that, bro. Ohio came in as a free state. Then they said, okay, Louisiana coming in as a slave state. What you talking about? And we checking this shit. And a lot of free states was coming first. Delaware kicked it off as a slave state. But then next thing you know, all these other states started coming in, and it was free states, free state, slave state, free state, slave state, 2 free states, 2 slave states. And it was just popping like that until almost at the end of it. Almost at the very end of it, it started to change for them to match us. And then we broke the pact when it was 15 slave states and 15 free states. And I'm gonna do a whole demonstration on this shit to show you this shit straight up. That's how it happened. And like I'm telling you, this thing is beautifully architect. Like literally, it's just a master blueprint on how the game was played. Because see, here's the question that you got to ask yourself, Jew. Here's the question.
I'm listening.
As men, that's why I always say women is exempt for this shit. As men, if we had to pick a time to go to war, I think you're going to have to calculate, hey, we want to factor in all of the factors so we can be the most successful. Mm-hmm. Is it wise to go to war over slavery in 1775, 76 when we already about to go to war or in war with the motherfucking Brits? Is it wise to go to war over slavery right now? I don't think so. South Carolina, Georgia, all them motherfuckers is going to roll with the Brits, and we ain't going to even get no country off the ground. So I think we better put slavery on the back burner. Okay, cool. Let's put it on the back burner. So we put it on the back burner. When will be a time to be able to address this? Should we address it right now at the Constitution and say slavery is officially over as soon as we just got out of a war? We just got out the war in 1783. Now, here we are at the Constitutional Convention 6 years later. Are we really ready for a civil war at this point in time? Probably not. Do you know in the Constitution?
Absolutely not.
Hell no. Do you know in the Constitution, bro? They told these motherfuckers, and we assuming they talking about the slaves, and that's cool. Let's say it is. The consensus is they talking about the slaves. The Congress told these motherfuckers down south, bro, that you got 20 years, and after 20 years, there will be no importations of such persons. If so, you're gonna be fined. You're gonna be paying a tax. So when the year 1808 come, the importation of bringing slaves into motherfucking America, that shit is over. Do that sound like a racist government to you? And they putting a deadline on this shit, telling you in 20 years it's a wrap. And then here's the kicker. When 1808 came, Thomas Jefferson signed the law and said it's officially illegal to import slaves in the United States of America. Man, y'all suck my dick. Fuck that. I'm tired of these bitch ass niggas, man. I ain't going. I'm not going for it, man. I'm not going for it because now you lying. You see what I'm saying? And
You absolutely lying, and it's easy for people to play Monday morning quarterback, right? It's easy for people to play Monday morning quarterback in hindsight when you're not in the moment having to deal with all of the moving parts. And see, here's the other thing. These are concepts and laws and, intentions that are being laid down by free men.
That's right.
And I want to listen. I want to emphasize this. Not free black, not free white. I'm free men. And so we have to look at ourselves and say, how did we allow ourselves to be put under the thumb of another man, where our future had to be put on pause or hold from somebody else's vision? See, this is why I don't be wanting to talk to y'all about your melanin.
Mm-hmm.
For what? And you talking about the sun gonna do something to him. Well, you know what? He'll just, like what he always do, he'll go in the laboratory and make some sunblock stuff.
Yep. Ain't no damn sun burning that man up.
Right? All of this stuff. This is why we get kicked off platforms.
Yeah.
This right here. This the energy right here.
Oh yeah.
We're not going along.
They can't stand it. Oh, they can't stand it.
We're not going along with none of that shit.
No, they can't stand it.
We just not. We're not finna talk to you about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I'm not finna talk to you about no giants. I ain't.
No.
I ain't. I'm serious, man.
That nigga thing right there.
Oh, the Giants? That's a pet peeve. The Giants? The Giants.
That nigga.
I ain't talk to you about none of that. Right. Man, what are we doing?
Right.
Or
yeah. Call them out.
Man. Listen, man. Listen. I'm like, what's that? That's in the book of Micah.
Mm-hmm.
When they asked them, they was going through all these trials and tribulations, and they asked these people of God one question: where is your God at now?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
You going through it?
Yeah, like don't tell me no slaves went on no damn boat praying to God come get me off this goddamn boat.
Where's your God at now?
Man, I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. I ain't trying to hear it. See,
right?
that's why, man.
So
That's why
what
I
are
fuck
we?
with
So,
Loki.
so and that's not to say that the force that we call God isn't a real thing. But here's my question: maybe we don't know the formula.
That's right. That's
And
right.
therein lies the problem. Because see, I'm gonna tell you something. See, even in scripture, when no, you can't.
Time is my get the charger all
Okay,
day.
hold on, give me a minute. Right? So she want to know because she want to come on. So look, so even in scripture, the apostles came and asked Christ a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
They said, Lord, teach us how to pray.
Mm-hmm.
Now that implies that it's a methodology and there's a formula to prayer.
Yes.
If I got to teach you how to do it, that means it's steps.
Mm-hmm.
This, then this, then this, then this.
Right. Right. El Boki said the artificial sun.
Yeah.
They sure do, man. The
Yeah.
artificial
You know,
sun.
and all that stuff. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we was coming on these platforms. People was giving testimonials, sharing their experience of what was actually happening to them.
People had disease, no longer disease.
No longer disease. People moving from $30,000 to $100,000 jobs.
Yeah.
People getting $700,000 contracts from the state of Illinois.
Yeah, then had custody of the kids and got them back, and
got them back after the courts had already ruled in the like. Listen,
yeah, man.
These were the things that, and then not only that, some of the things that money can't buy. People were coming since we listened to you guys. I've been filled with nothing but joy.
Right.
So you know, like, man,
right,
please.
Right. Oh, well, on another note, real fast, because somebody said something in the chat that I mentioned. Listen, man. You can Google the 12 bodily systems. What a coincidence! You got 12 zodiac signs. Aquarius is the nervous system, which is by far my favorite system because the body is electrochemical, and so the electrical path is the fast path because it's thought. It's electricity. It's light. Whereas the chemical path, of course, which is you got to take chemicals and whatnot, but it's a little bit of a slower process. And plus, all thought produces a chemical anyway. So the body's electrochemical. So since we're dealing with Pluto, transformation and power, and then Aquarius is the nervous system, more on that. And I'm not, again, this is not medical advice. Please consult your physician and stuff like that. But it will behoove us to strengthen our nervous system at this time. You know what I'm saying? Which could transform us to become extremely more magnetic. These are keywords for Pluto: transformation, magnetic, and power, meaning empowering us. You know what I'm saying? So, watch what you eat. For sure. Watch what you just putting in your body, you know what I mean, on the chemical side, and watch what you thinking. Like even today, right? My fat ass had some crab cakes. No, I did. I had crab cakes, but that wasn't it. I had grabbed me a piece of macaroni, and I was watching my concentration level about an hour later, and I was like, wow, I can literally feel this. I feel like the electricity in my brain is not flowing as fluid how I be if I'm like on fruit or I'm fasting and whatnot, right? So watch how your body respond to some things, but on the internal side, definitely strengthen up the nervous system and whatnot. And then when you got the right visualizations, I think you should join the Imagination Guru so you can stay in the custom routine. When you got the right visualizations, what happened is, remember when we read that article about the aura, she talked about, hey man, this is like a yin yang aura around us. What happens is your energy field starts to expand. That's the aura, right? Actually got my aura machine back here. And so the energy field starts to expand. And so the energy field of the aura is nothing more than information. You see what I'm saying? And so you ever somebody thinking about you or something, you thinking about that person, and if y'all on the same wavelength, you know what I mean? Like I was just about to text you and you called me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's communication that get to come through. And so when you expand that ability, man, like literally, you know what I mean, you start to come more into our superpowers. And Pluto here is definitely power to the people and whatnot. Again, going back to that government aspect of we the people, that's very interesting because when it all got started, they started off with we the people, which is us, and we doing something, but more of an internal side to empower ourselves is something that's going to transform that nervous system, which is going to send electrical pulses throughout the entire body. Okay.
Now, Pluto is also, like we mentioned, psychoanalysis. That's going into the deeper recesses of the mind. These are, what you would consider to be your Sigmund Freud types, your Tesla types, people who have a different type of depth about what's going on in the psychology, right? Now, Aquarius is mental. It's an air sign. Pluto is also what, Jew? It's a cult, right? It's the mysteries. But Aquarius is what? It's that stuff that's kind of weird and strange to people. Astrology, right? All of these type of arts. But we talking about a group of people, and we talking about magnetism. So now what if we turned into the people of Israel when we got together collectively on some deep mental stuff? Could this be a time where the magnetism is strong enough to have an impact on humanity? Aquarius.
That's right. That's right.
Whoa. And it don't take a whole lot of us.
Nope.
So I don't know, but I don't know, man. If you want to get the wheels turning, I don't
you
know,
already
man.
know, man. You already know.
Y'all,
For
if
sure.
y'all say
Next
the
year.
word, we'll say the word, say go, and we'll be going somewhere in June.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something to think about, though, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. For sure. April 2024. Man, that's 7 years past already. We 7
That
years in
was
the
so
future, my
fast,
niggas.
bro.
Well, we told them cats 7 years ago. Y'all looking at the wrong eclipse. Well, you looking at the first level, 2024, April 8th.
Bro, I remember that, man.
You
I
know what
was
I'm
at
saying?
this college out here by my crib. But we had to put them glasses on to go out and look at that bad boy. And yeah, man.
Yeah. The American Eclipse Part 2, April 8th, 2020, 2024 is that's where it's gonna be at. Southern Illinois, aka Little Egypt. You know what I'm saying? That's the tender spot, you know. Yeah, we gonna be there, you know. We're gonna light this thing up.
2024.
Thundercats.
Yeah. That's the major. That's the major. That's the major
Thundercats.
one.
Thundercats, man. You know?
The major one. It is the major one.
Yeah, man. But y'all got any questions real fast, man? We wrap this thing up. Get up out of here, man. Thank y'all for coming out. 67 people in the building. Everybody click the thumbs up button if you haven't already. You know what I'm saying? Connect the dots. Rewind this thing if you have to. It's all relative. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with, what we talk about. Go ahead, bro.
And just some previous, like Pluto just went through Capricorn too, right? So the Capricorn is government, is business, and we really saw it really go through a thing like at those latter degrees with this whole COVID joint that caused a lot of businesses to go under.
Yeah.
It caused a lot of businesses to have to go through a whole different type of rebrand, restructuring, right? And we saw like, especially over here on this landmass, like things start to get a little fickle out here.
Yeah.
Right? As far as our government is concerned. So you kind of seeing like the stage being set. Right? But then on another note, something else that we saw during this transit, because see, that's the mommy daddy access, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's Cap, that's Cancer. So what did we see? Just look at what we saw. We saw a lot of women do what, the beer? Boss up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? We saw a lot of conversations and narrative around the idea of who's playing what role now.
Yeah.
In family life, in family structure. Right? A lot of narratives were created of we don't want to do family. We ain't got time for that.
Right.
I'd rather do this, that, and the third. And then we also saw a lot of psychoanalysis concern. Look how many podcasts and blogs popped up with thought pieces and think pieces about the role in the
relationships.
house,
Yeah.
and relationships between the man and the woman.
They created a whole new thing called the manosphere.
Yes,
literally a new thing came out. Kevin Samuels came. Then you got, what is it? Fit and Fresh and Fresh and Fit. What's the brother's name?
Exactly.
Then you got a whole bunch of stuff. Just Pearly thing. Whole bunch of stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? The dynamics of relationships is challenging as a motherfucker.
But exactly. And at its core, we're talking about the man and the woman who like, we got the 50-50 conversation, the 70-30 conversation. In other words, because see, Saturn is also the provider.
Right. You got the 100 thing. It ain't no 50-50. I put 100% in on what I do. She put 100. It's all this about the dynamic of relationships is going on. And you got a lot of transgender stuff to do, Zaya Wade and the Pluto transforming the gender type, that whole thing.
And what I'm saying? What else did we see with Pluto coming through Cap? Because Capricorn is big business, is professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a lot, but Pluto is sex. So what did we see? Boom. OnlyFans became big business.
Ain't got no male OnlyFans and shit,
bro. Big business.
They checking the bag on OnlyFans.
A bag. What?
Getting rich.
What?
Shit.
Yeah. Man, listen.
For real, man.
Some of them channels say $350,000 a month.
Yeah.
And when we look at the scheme of if we saying it's the age of Aquarius, and that's putting Aquarius on the ascendant, and that puts Scorpio on the midhaven.
In the public. So sex becomes public.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. It is the big business of the day.
Yeah. But it was coming. It was coming, man. Playboy, Hustler magazine, Blacktail magazine, King magazine. Even though King wasn't new, but yeah. Yeah, man. But yeah, man, y'all get at us, man. What you got coming up, bro?
Man, I ain't got nothing coming up, man.
You members.
Yeah, that's it, man. I'm just listen, man.
Tending to the flock.
That's it, man. Tending to my congregation, man. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all, man. And can't wait to see what you got brewing, man. I'm just riding shotgun over there on
spiritual
politics until it get to the spiritual side. Then I might take the wheel. But on the cause see, listen, Noble been schooling me
No doubt.
on the historicity of all these. Like this been listen, and y'all don't know. There's been an ongoing process for like 3 years,
Oh yeah, been on it.
right? So and so I'm always excited to learn, right? But I'd be more excited for my partner because he be on it.
Yeah.
You know, he like how he called me. He be like, "Man, Drew, I'm in my bag. I got some," and I know that level of excitement.
Yeah.
I know what that feels like. Cause
Yeah.
see, he get it from me when I call him. Be like, "Nigga, nigga, 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 nigga."
Oh yeah.
Right?
All,
And I
all
say,
day.
bro, I didn't came across this scripture. And the last one I hit you with, no, what you say, Drew,
Hebrews 6.
you just coming across that?
Yeah, I couldn't believe that shit.
Yes.
Everybody, you need to go to Hebrews 6 and don't ever forget it in your life, man. Hebrews 6. It opens up. And one translation says, "Let us not waste time with the elementary teachings of Christ." Literally.
Yes.
That's what it say. All the prayer and baptism, man, we don't need to waste time on that shit. That's elementary.
We don't need to waste. They call that elementary.
Yes, man. Yes.
They said the laying on of hands is elementary. Teaching about the resurrection, but they finna do that in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, that Easter shit. Oh man, don't even get me started on Easter. I'm getting in their ass this Easter. I'm sorry.
They said that it's elementary. They also said it's elementary to talk about that our faith in God is elementary. They said, let's move on to a more mature understanding.
Yeah.
So now you have to ask yourself a question. If all of these things are considered to be elementary, what the hell is the mature stuff?
Mm-hmm. That's right. So the goddamn good question.
What's the mature stuff?
What is the? Hey, that's the question to ask the pastor.
Where you have to have a now you got to get it. There you go. You got to get into the meat of the now we got to talk about, okay, well, what does it really mean when the Christ went up on the mountain and went through his whole transfiguration?
Yeah.
What's that about?
Boy. How do you tell these cats that this thing may not even no physical person even ain't talking about a physical person. Physical person don't exist. That's hard, man. Hey man, you imagine being around a former pastor or a 32nd degree Mason that may not know this thing, man. That man, listen. That's why I said it's time to teach, man. It's really time to go at it, man. It's time to go at it. We can't be wasting our time with the elementary teachings of Christ, man. For real. I was gonna say something, man, and my last words to y'all, man. So again, spiritual politics on YouTube is YouTube spiritual politics at 777. Because on YouTube you can get a handle. So if you go youtube.com/spiritual politics 777, it should pop up. Let me see. I'm gonna drop it in the chat again. There you go in the chat at spiritual politics 777 on YouTube, the new channel. Also on all podcasts, so on your phone, if you iPhone, go to podcast, it loads up there. If you Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast, type in spiritual politics, Noble Input, it should pop up. That's there. I'm gonna give y'all a little piece of history real fast. There was a gentleman by the name of John Rutledge. And John Rutledge is from South Carolina, one of the founding fathers who signed off on probably the Constitution. At one point in time, in fact, he was actually the first justice. He wasn't the first chief justice, but he was the first justice in the Supreme Court appointed by George Washington. Being from South Carolina, it's a good chance this dude was pro-slavery. He was. So the first chief justice had resigned, which was John Jay out of New York. And John Jay was an abolitionist and also created the New York Manumission Society. The first chief justice of the United States of America created the New York Manumission Society to start freeing slaves. Okay, this is a fact. Okay, well, when he was out, they put John Rutledge in, right? Jew, check this out. They put Rutledge in,
Mm-hmm.
and Congress was out on recess, and when they came back, they took it to a vote to see if this dude would be remain as the chief justice. So let me give you a backdrop. I heard this from a historian. John Rutledge was in opposition to the current constitution that talk about slavery is going to end in 20 years. He didn't like that shit. So he wrote a draft of the constitution that said the shit ain't never ending, nor can Congress ever come back and make an amendment to this fucking amendment. So he wanted slavery forever in the Constitution. Okay. This is John Rutledge. Well, John Rutledge, when he went to go, obviously that didn't win out in the Constitution. When they went to vote for him to be Chief Justice of the United States of America, he lost the vote. They didn't vote for him to be the Chief Justice of the United States of America. This is a fact. Okay. I can open up my email right now and show you who voted for who, because the librarian at the Senate sent me a link where I can verify the votes or anything that I'm looking for. You see what I'm saying? And so just to give you a little bit of history, again, look this up. John Rutledge, they didn't vote him in the 1795 Chief Justice thing. They voted him out like, nah, nigga, you ain't gonna be our Chief Justice. Facts. So again, I'm gonna always poke holes at the armor that the country does not have its founding on racism. If you listened earlier, the country has its founding, its pre-founding, before its actual founding, on riding for, we don't like slavery, we don't want to have nothing to do with that shit. Okay? And that's the story. Okay? So spiritual politics, man. Go over there, sign up on that shit on YouTube and on your podcast platform, man. You can close us out, bro.
Hey, man, listen, we just want to say thank you. We appreciate everybody for coming out. The support is always highly appreciated, man. We've been at this thing for a while. The priesthood, man, we go by the priesthood. Myself, Minister Jew, my partner, my brother, Noble Lampu. Subscribe to the channel. Share this with all your people. Let them know that we exist. And tap in with us, man. Y'all know where to get at us at. It ain't nothing new. Y'all know where we at.
Yeah,
And,
indeed.
we're gonna holler at y'all later.
Yes, peace.
Peace.